So, well, guys, we're ready. We're moving out. Well, we've got 3,000 miles to Marquez, and we've walked 961 miles. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. We just lay down on the course a little more, turned, opened the sails, and that's it. And we went to the market. As I told you, the Galapagos is a low-pressure zone. So until we get out of here, this shit is going to haunt us all the time. That is, here we have such great weather. We turned off all the patterns so that we didn't even see the beauty around the sun. An inaccessible luxury. Here we have onions growing. That's how all these clouds pour. Well, it's not so much cold here as it's just wet and flooding. Ugh. Only down screw usually go on the ocean, and when you go up screw, it's always such a hellish yo-ho-ho. Because the waves are big, and due to the high speed, because we are now going there 7.5 knots, almost sometimes up to 8. And the wind is only 19 amps. Then the waves, as usual, will not be visible, probably, but some kind of performance may turn out. And our task now is to reach the last island, the largest in the Galapagos. We turn 30 degrees, and we will go into the floor of the wind. Maybe after the island, we will even go up a little, just to make it comfortable, and then go down with the wind. So we have covered 1,000 nautical miles on our journey. And this, by the way, is 25% of the total trip. We have dinner cooking time now. So, we're going to have a bucket of Olivier salad, mayonnaise, and with this d'oliva. It's all of you who have done such splendor. Olivier.
Look what Suryaza has prepared for us.
If it wasn't for me, they would have been hungry at all. Don't drive us away. You couldn't even go down there.
Well, that's why I did everything in advance. And so did Christina. Fill it up. You can do a lot for everyone.
More.
No.
This is who works, eats so much. So he will see.
I've had enough, for the first time. Then I'll add something if I don't have enough. I know, yes. Bon appetite.
The rain is coming to you again. Here it is. Right now it will be pouring at night looking. Therefore, we will have to put on a jacket now so as not to get wet. But I hope that it will all pass quickly. We have now, by the way, the waves are going like this, according to the forecast. They will still go like this for some time. Then they will go on board, then they will turn from behind, and this will be our full-fledged mode. In the meantime, we are jumping. We have 89 degrees to the wind now. That is, we are going into the floor of the wind. But the waves come in from the front. I don't like this, because always when the wind doesn't match the wave, it becomes so ragged, choppy, and it's always not very good. Well, not comfortable, because you're talking a lot. We are already getting dark, and, as usual, swollen in the evening. Again, the sun has been replaced by these clouds. Sometimes it rains a little from under them. In general, we have already switched the screen to night mode. We have a strong enough muzzle. We have the last reef there on the sails. It is possible to grind, but we will get there for the night anyway. So, good morning, everyone. What do we have with energy? That's it. We start the inverter, because I want coffee. Started. Now it will turn on. The internet will turn on. Because we turned it off at night to save electricity. Because the sea is a little rough, it talks a lot, the autopilot is taxiing. What's going on here? Good morning.
Good morning.
Marquez is on his way. Yeah. 2,800 miles. Even 2,888. Our internet failed because we forgot to switch it from roaming mobility mode to priority date for $2 per gigabyte. But the site works. And here we are now in this and went to the site, turned on this option, and are waiting. The internet should appear now. Here I like how it all works. In the ocean, the internet turned on the button. It's immediately obvious that Dina came out dissatisfied. How to understand to what degree we need to descend. Below the equator, there is a southern equatorial current. And we open, put it aside, and look for Pacific jump. So we look here. That is, there is already a current going on here, below the Galapagos. We are going down like this. And somewhere it is between the 2nd and 3rd degrees. In other words, we have actually descended from the Galapagos, and the current is already beginning. Well, and so we go down even lower, 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 and here somewhere at the level there. Well, in short, we can actually go straight to the Marquez, and the current will go with us, so we just go in a straight line. Here's what I found on the deck. It's a sail thing. Here it is, look. It is necessary to throw the sail down a little, quickly insert it there, and lift it up. So that's it, I put it on the spot. Oh, someone's got Mayday here. Wow. 123 nautical miles. We will catch carp. I have a wobbler like this. We have a competition. What about you? I have a squid. Squid is great. You know what bites him right away. Knock it down. Immediately sashimi bites. The spinning rods are abandoned, and so that they are not accidentally taken away by the fish from us here.
The second one. What to do about it?
Fuck, it needs to be pulled out. And straight to the sport.
Oh, the end is huge.
And take it out immediately. Well, our tuna has become this magnificent piece of meat. And the girls here are engaged in washing the boat because the filth is incredible. There was a bloodbath, just like that, and tore the tuna all over the boat. And now it's ceviche time. This is where the meat is finely chopped, the onion is finely chopped. And what are you doing so great? It will be a salty ton. Sugar, salt, tuna. And love. Love. And here we have civics in a bucket. Are we putting lemons, pepper here now, or are you just putting salt on top like that? Yes, then we will massage them there. And here salt, and hot pepper, and sugar. And sugar, yes. A signature recipe. Like this. Now we have half a bucket of lemon, half a bucket of civet. What do you have there? I have it here. Salted fish. Class. But we still need cutlets. We don't have a meat grinder, so we cut it finely, and then we'll take a fork, and so we'll suppress everything. And it will be fine for cutlets. So, now we will vacuum the fish on land. And here is our minced meat. We will have cutlets in a few days. Now we are also going to vaccinate him. We put it carefully, cover it with a lid on both sides. And now you say, Waxel. Here is such an industrial product. So, here we have it. This is what we will have sushi, and this from below is minced meat. That's how convenient it is to store it. Now we put it in the refrigerator, and that's it. Stupid squid. Good morning, everyone. We're on watch with Dina right now. We have a night that goes like this for 4 hours, a watch from 8 to 12, then from 12 to 4 Mindugas and Christina. Then from 4 to 8 again my idea. And the next day we change. So today the night was so right wow. We can't say that well, the weather is bad, that is, there were 23 knots of wind there. But the problem is that it accelerates large waves. This wind was creeping down there less than 90 degrees, and this is very uncomfortable. Because even if we got stuck right under the third reef, I'll explain why now. You fly off the wave, crash into the next wave, you fall sideways from the waves are really big. And if you rhyme, you slow down, but you still go there for more than 6, and then it's still okay until 6. And after 6 it's already right hard. And if you go under sails that are under this weather, then it will be somewhere 7 plus up to 8, and at such a speed on such waves. Well, it's very, very hard. And flying fish, when they get in, they're so smelly. Oh, what happened?
What happened to me?
With fish.
The back of my head flew in yesterday. Big one.
Moreover, this fish got into the back of the head, then fell on the bed. Well, not on the bed, on the side seat. There's everything in the man in the husk. It flutters, you try to take it, it makes it even more scales from it. And it stinks so much. In general, a smelly fish and you're all smelly then, and in the morning, and you have this pillow under your neck, stinks of this fish. Now it needs to be washed.
Did you find it? She smelled like candy in there. What's inside? Clearly something has hit.
One time.
And where will you start it?
This is our reality. You are unlikely to die of hunger here. Just need to turn on the light at night, a mountain of fish. He came out with a basket as he collected mushrooms. These are civics. In short, it has already been infused with a pinned switch. Delicious and cold. It's like the breakfast is just great. There was coffee in the morning, and then this is all, including a candle. I have already told you before that if we had waves going earlier from 80 degrees, then they moved sideways to half. And now they went to catch up with us from behind. These are not very comfortable waves, because the boat starts to turn around, they bring the ass in. And you have to constantly struggle with this parasitic rotation. But that's not the problem. The problem is that we still have the wind and not synchronized with the wave right now. We have a small angle. And so I'm waiting for it all to synchronize. I think another day or two probably at most, so that we are already on a clean landing. With a moment of hedonism, look. Ceviche? Singers. What have you got there? The tube. Truby. Truby. In short, just like that in the middle of the day, now we have 12:00. We decided to meet the next half of these days. We celebrate. You know that small squids can fly on this jet of their own up to 50 meters there. And the big ones can't anymore. Here's a look at when they jump in. From the roof. So, we have 4 hours now. You'll see the battery is 94% charged and still charging. That is, since the sun is still there. I think it's somewhere 95. Let's see how much it charges up to in the end. But I think this is the limit. That is, we have 13 for full assembly charged. Well, maybe there will still be 95, maybe even 96. If we saved battery discharge. No, it's huge. Look, it's really the size of a palm. Where are you going with him? Hit in the head. Got it in my head. That's a freak, right? Is my head stronger? I think we're going to make some kind of food out of it. It's big enough. Look, exactly the size of the palm. Yes, no more. More, look.
Can you let him go?
Yes, of course. We'll eat him like this.
Figure it out.
Well, Suryaza, go.
Let go.
Go save yourself. Come on.
Aw, damn.
Ripped off. Got off the hook. Come on, kill him again in cardboard. At 8 o'clock in the evening, the start of the watch, we have 88% of the battery, and with these percentages, we go into the night. So, we have 74% of the battery left overnight. I do not know why we have such a large expense, but nevertheless, it is a lot. Guys, we have another morning. What day I don't remember anymore, I don't count. Well, probably the third, fourth one of some kind. Behind us, you can see the sunrise. What's going on here? Before, we have covered 1,349 miles. We have 2,620 to reach our goal. We have a speed of 5 and 4. We are going on a course of 259. Speed 5 and 4 means that we are out on the current, because with a wind of 14 knots, we are going on the second reef. So we really have an objective speed there less than 4, I'm sure. But since the current gives us about 1.5 knots according to our calculations, we go more than 5. Now we'll unpack and go around 7. Normal speed for the Pacific Ocean. The wave subsided. Well, you won't see the wave on the camera anyway, so it's unclear what to show you. Smooth sea. Let's go on deck, do Monin routine check. So, we immediately throw out unnecessary squid. I check and make sure that there are no bolts on the deck, some elements that should not be on it, so that all the sails are in normal condition. Well, in short, so that there are no surprises, because surprises are absolutely not needed in yachting. The sea has calmed down a little now, and I think we will go like this in the near future. 12, 13, 14 knots. Together with the current it turns out about 5, 5.5, even 6. If it inflates a little more, and the question is, what to do? Use the zero code or go on ordinary sails. But for now we will go on ordinary sails. And if it gets completely dark, and we realize that we are going slowly, there are less than 4, then we will open the big sails. But it's too early to talk about it yet. What's going on here? Deception. What are you cooking?
Very tasty. Look at the omelet.
Wow, wow. Class. And this salad, right?
Yes. With our kefir.
With kefir.
Yes, which we made ourselves.
We have a sordo like this. It is put in milk and put in the sun there. After a couple of days, it turns out an excellent kefir. And then from it you pour the next one into the next one, and so you can do it for a long time. Bon appetite.
And enjoy yourself.
That's a pie. I'm going to eat it now. There is no time. There's no time to explain. So, this is our pickled fish. We already have a couple of pieces cut off to try. As you understand, it will be with beer. It's just magical. It doesn't even look like a fish at all. It looks like some kind of meat or something. Spices and a little love. And that's all from the fact that it came to us on the boat itself. Well, not beer of course, but Crucian carp did it wonderfully. So, after a day of charging, we had a lot of sun today. 85% of the batteries are the charge with which we go into the night. Usually it's 95, that is, now we have 5% less. It was we who had a dishwasher, a desalination plant, a coffee maker working today. Well, that is, we fully used the system. In the morning, I'll show you how much electricity we will get. And don't forget, we have 220 Starlink internet running. 50 watts here it takes, and this, by the way, is conditionally 1 and 2 kilowatts per day. That is, this is a really large amount. So, and the next day, we have 68% of the remaining batteries. Here, well, this is so that you understand the expense, but today we will save. We will recharge a little to go out in a positive direction. I got something like this today, such a wow. They didn't pull it out. It fell off, but the wobbler did not bite off. This, by the way, is strange, that if something so big usually bites, it breaks off along with the wobbler. According to the weather, we are going now at 7. We are worried. We have the first reef on the main, the first reef on the heady, because it blows up to 21. It seems like it's kind of a little bit from the point of view of the wind, but from the point of view of the wave, well, you know that the waves are usually somehow not visible at all. The boat takes off very high, it turns sideways, and we have to constantly monitor the course, so that we don't have a lot of things turned around there. Maki Maki. That's it, I'll be right back. Yes. Where to? To the right. To the right? Well, yes.
She didn't pierce much, artist.
And I have this here. No, no, no. Escape. Oh, good. And Andrew. But seriously, we just don't want mahi-mahi. We want to catch tuna. Because mahi-mahi we already have one. You can make sashimi out of it to eat it. Well, in principle, that's enough. There are fish here. Well, we just had a time shift. That is, in the Galapagos with Panama, we changed 1 hour, we had a minus. And now another minus hour has gone. It just happens automatically. The time is translated on the clock, and that's it. And you look, it's different from the chatloader. 1 shift. A little problem happened. In short, I'll show you the trouble now. Look. Our device, I turned it off now. This is the connector having. He just crumbled. Do you know why? Because according to the standards of the European Union, all these cables must be degradable. This is just bestiality, because your wires should be reliable, and not fall apart from ultraviolet and other things. In this damn lottery, there is a memory stick card which has a map on it. That's why we don't have a map on our big chart plotter right now. We're going without a map. This is all here, it doesn't have any details. It doesn't really matter to us at the moment. To fix all this, we have at least 2 more weeks, or even 2.5. Great. The weather is already sunny. The sun is shining with might and main. Even everyone has woken up. And why is everyone sitting on their phones? But because there is internet on the boat. And we have such an introverted party in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. In short, during the night, we didn't have much happen, except for 2 small breakdowns. The button has stopped working for us. There is no winch port, it works slowly, it doesn't work fast. And for some reason, the refrigerator stopped working. Now I'm drinking coffee, I come to my senses, and start doing it all, and see why it still broke. The refrigerator turned on, I touched the relay, I don't know what's wrong with it, but we're going to disassemble the button now. The contact just fell off, it will need to be soldered here now. So I soldered it, we check it. Everything works. Now we put the button back on the silicone necessarily from the bottom, and we have it ready. Well, are we checking? So that's it. This minor misunderstanding has been corrected. So, our next day has come to an end. And we're going to have the first night watch from 8 to 12 now. And then we change, and then the second one from 4 to 8.
My favorite.
And I'm fine. As you can see, I'm doing such a watch here, much better.
And I'm bad, bones hurt. I can't fit on the bench with you.
Get the couch over here. Well, Dinochka, this is your watch now. How are you? All right. Do you want to?
No. I want coffee.
Would you like some coffee?
And the internet.
We have the sun. We are going at a speed of 5 and 3, they're 2, 6, and 5. That is, somewhere around the average of 6. We have 2,183 left. And the problem now is that there is little wind. That is, we now have 14, more or less okay. Do not forget that this is an independent screw, that is, we need to take away our speed from it. Because we have an angle to the wind of 130 degrees. That is, he is more or less normal, according to the forecast of 14. But when, according to the forecast, it goes 14, and not on the gas, our sails begin to rinse and flap. Because the main problem in the ocean is the waves, that is, we do not walk in the wind, we walk on the waves. So that they are easier to steer, so that the boat goes more smoothly. Because if you walk just downwind, you can move your brains. Well, there is nothing useful for sails, of course, in this. Therefore, we are having such a difficult period right now, it was a difficult night, but despite this, we have an average speed of 6 knots, which suits us quite well. We have 2 ships behind us. Let's see who it is. It's some kind of fisherman. It's obvious. Class B fishing. It's called Wayne. It's going at 8 and 8 knots, and it's 2 and 8 and 2 miles with us. You can already see them there in the distance, but I probably won't show you on camera anyway because it's very far away. Maybe when it will pass by, but in any case one, because the second one will pass that distant one more, much further. And this one is about 2 miles away. It may pass and perhaps you will see it. This fisherman is right next to us. We have a very small chain with him, we look. 0.4 miles. Here he passes by. we have a little difficulty with energy. I showed you that we have such a small undercharging, that is, we seem to survive with it. But we have a fairly large energy consumption overnight, and, as it were, we get right back to back in a day. If there is a little less sun, then that's it. Now look, our panels here, they seem to be working. This works, they work. But this panel is in the shade under the sail, does not work. And when the sun passes over the horizon, it passes from this side of the boat, and it turns out that only one works. This panel works poorly, and when the boat tilts in this direction, then these rear panels do not work. In other words, we get a situation where there seem to be a lot of panels, but they don't work on the go. But if you stand in one place, then of course there is no such problem. Therefore, well, as if we have already walked 2,000 miles, and we will walk another 2,000. That is, in principle, we don't have it right bad, but in fact, there is not enough sun for all the wishes. We have, by the way, an evening viewing of serials. Well, are you satisfied? Dinachka, what's up with your chupa chups?
Yes.
In short, we have a Californication. We're going to watch this series today.
What are you doing so fashionable?
What he's doing, and I'm sitting in the transition and editing a video. And I'm editing a video about preparing the transition on this big iron boat Phantom Maldives on a super yacht. This is what I have now in the installation. In fact, the weather allows, but why not do something useful? You're still sitting like this, you're going to sit and look at the ocean, and so you can do something useful.
And so useful. In the transition, I mount a video about the transition.
What to do? No, I will still be editing a video about the transition in the transition, but it will be a little later.
In the meantime, we are 23 miles from the halfway point of this magnificent crossing.
Or, by the way, we have passed this third. There are 2/3 left between the Galapagos and the Marquez.
Or so.
Or so it can be considered. The guys are finishing their watch. Morning coffee is made in their turka. That's how they like it, but we don't make coffee like that. We make coffee like this. We go into the inverter and tell him to turn on. That's it. And now, after 10 minutes have passed there, we will start the internet at the same time. We will check all the news. Because we turn off the internet at night because of electricity savings. I'll tell you about electricity later. Everything turned out not as chocolate-like as we had planned for ourselves, simply due to the fact that we get little energy. But more on that a little later. But nevertheless, we have enough for coffee and for all sorts of household needs. And the only thing that has to be turned off at night is Elon Musk's internet. So, attention. We have 2,000 left before the goal. At 15 hours and 10 minutes of the 17th-06th, we exchanged 2,000 nautical miles. We have until the Chemo Marquesa. And we walked 1,978 miles, almost 2,000, that is, half, but less than 2. Less than 2,000 have already happened. We're bringing champagne. My favorite. Well, you. I'm with 2,000. 2,000. We exchanged nautical miles. All we have left is bullshit. 1999. I would fly around and scream, "What are you doing, animals?" And I want to. All your stuff, and what do we do with it then? Well, with a hat.
2,000 miles, we're halfway today. Pacific's our stage, under sky so true. Singing the blues on the Mushu crew.
our mahi-mahi. We have just weighed 7 kilograms. And we will raise it. Really big carp. Class. Not. Well. Yes. Loves everything gently. Detective. You think Vienna is a problem after all.
Viena iš didžiausių problemų mes patys padarėm su tuo vantu.
And the problem.
Ir ta problema iššaukė kitą.
Broadcasting.
O jėgos, vandenynai ir bangos, tikrai man paliko didžiulį įspūdį ir jeigu vandenyno banga.
We have a little bit of a wind now. We have drifted the main, put it on the second bar, and we have a speed of more than 8. It is visible from behind, but we have such big waves visible, that is, they are on us, they turn us around a little. That's the kind of yaktin we have now. You may ask, but what will we have for mahi-mahi? Here's a look at mahi-mahi fried in a frying pan. It's already ready. Sashimi for mahi-mahi. And now it's the turn for the mahi-mahi. Bon appetit.
Thank you.
We have puree and fish, and now sashimi is already a little bit here and sunset. Have you already told us what happened?
No, but I showed that you are sitting on the mast outside at the same time.
We have once again burst the manta ray, and so that's how it was redone.
In a wonderful way.
And we spent the whole night climbing the mast there, taking out the old shroud.
From 3:30, it's at 3:30.
We inserted the old one there, the one that we had with crimping. We made a new crimping. In general, that's all we've been doing.
A couple of hours.
A couple of hours, yes. In short, offshore yachts.
And we still have 1,700 and a penny miles and...
Only 1,700.
Well, I am glad that this is not a load, well, not the most load-bearing mass.
Well, yes. But I hope it will work. In any case, there is for this.
There is already experience with this walking shroud, to check how it holds there and so on.
I'll put it on now.
Place marks.
Yes, a label.
As I run, just flies and heels.
Well, now we have about 9 in the morning, and it only turned out to drink coffee when the problem seemed to be stabilized. But look what a great cappuccino I got. Very cool. This is taking into account the fact that our watch started at 12 at night, and now we couldn't sleep until 9 in the morning. Because at 3:30 our watch just ended, there was a big bad boom. And she fell down like that. There were questions from this shroud, but you understand that it is always not on level water, that is, there were some external reasons for this. Now we have Padrazdulo, and look at what big waves. It's hard to show waves on camera. Well, there are such big waves coming, and sometimes, when they rise very high, the boats turn around. The problem is that when the boat, let's say, goes this way, these baths are loaded. Sometimes she does it with a jerk, and these are loaded. It turns out that these are the stoves. These bundles are problematic for the rating. We are trying to make such a course so that we have, well, everything is so even. But when there are such big waves, it's not going to work out very smoothly in any case. We are still expecting this kind of weather for 3 days. I hope that the forecasts will not lie, and we will go. We will have a speed of 5.5, 6 there. And with this speed, I hope a few days before the wind rises a little, we will be able to pass. Good morning, everyone. We have our watch now. And behind me, look, it's sunrise. I always love sunrises in the ocean. It's always beautiful. Nothing happened at night. On the contrary, the wind. We have 13 knots now. We even decided not to get carried away as we went, and so we went. We have an average speed of 4 and 9, and in principle we are satisfied with this. It's morning now, they've been polished. And I also forgot to tell you, that's when we had problems with this shroud. These flying fish that are lying on the deck are still nothing. But the squid that you slip on, it's just tin. But the fish are lying around here as always. Here you can take a look. Well, this is what you usually get up in the morning, walk along the deck, and just throw them away. Well, you can do something, of course, it's just stupidly lazy.
You see, no matter how much scavenger he is, he does not collect dump fish, flew and catches his own.
This is Dina talking about our bird that lives with us. Booby Boo is gorgeous. In short, he lives with us on a boat, sleeps at anchor. How does this bird behave? You see, it sits only at anchor. And here he is sitting just like that, with his muzzle in this direction, and his ass in that direction. And it shows. But at anchor, we forgive him such pranks, because the anchor threw off the water and washed. And he doesn't do that on a boat. A magnificent bird. We have already had a little bit of trouble in the process, so we are now in the process of washing. But something incomprehensible happened to her. In short, to start it, you need to open the lid and drain the water from the pump, then it starts and already works fully. Maybe the hose is bent over somewhere, it pushes it through. It's unclear. In general, it turns out to run it, but it will have to be repaired there in the near future. But we have managed to do this for 3 cycles already. Here we have the stuff drying up. And here the joke is that you hang up a set of underwear after, well, the whole loading of the machine. And while the next loading is being erased, the previous one is already dry. That's life in a hot climate. And we, by the way, are not so hot. We have 25 degrees. And it's winter in Tahiti, it's the southern hemisphere. And at night, it's even 20 degrees firm to 24. On a boat, autonomy is still not 100% autonomy. Of course, everything is okay with electricity and water, but we have gas and we cook on gas. We are not planning to switch to induction yet. Maybe somewhere in the parking lots, where we will have less energy consumption, such as autopilot, then we can buy an induction cooker. But for now, we are cooking on gas, and we have run out of gas. Now we need to change the balloon. The balloon itself. In short, we have a full one. And this is where he's going to tail right now. So that's it, is it there? Opening it. Checking it out. Well, that's it, there is gas. Did you see me showing you this front in the sky? And now look at it. Literally an hour has passed. the sun is shining, the weather is great, but it was delayed, and we looked at the weather forecast. It was written 100% coverage of cloud coverage, by the way. And we'll have dinner like this, for example, onions, look. So that there is no scurvy. I'm afraid of scurvy. In general, in order to avoid scurvy, you need to follow the captain's commands. Do you know what this is for? I poke Dina to do something with a stick. No, she doesn't run away. Something will normally be edible. It will be kebabs.
Oh damn, a butterfly, released. Is he still alive? Yes, alive, alive. Let me get him out.
This one.
Just some kind of fresh.
Shall we eat him?
Oh no, come on.
Fry.
Not. My god, what a misfortune. Yes, yes, I already have you.
Hisses.
That's it. He stepped on me there. Yes. And he said thank you.
And so aggressive, right? Attacked.
It's him who just flew in at all.
Good morning. Another morning. We've been driving half the night today. It's just that the wind has turned completely sour. Now we are going at a speed of 5.5 knots there, probably, but at the same time. We have a 10 and 156 angle, that is, the wind has crept back a lot. And we also learned how to feed our bird. Where is he? There he is, there he is. Kill him. You're looking the wrong way. Well, I'm on. I fed 3. Me. Well, 2 caught on. On the cast, I took 1 from the water. So, folks, why do you think we're standing here with a bottle of champagne? We, I mean I, just in the plural, because you need to treat yourself with respect. So, attention. I'm showing you. You see 1,453. 53 miles ago, we were supposed to open this one here, Anna. What don't you drink on? Now, 53 miles back. No, 47, sorry. So, are we opening it? This is the most delicious champagne. And now it's your turn. Well, halfway from Galapagos to Marquez, half 50%. We did it. What terrible story have we learned now? In short, we are subscribed to the Starling group. He is a boat, and right in front of us 170 miles. Right on our course, a boat called Lulu, this is a pleasure craft, collided with a whale, and after a collision sank on. A signal was given to Mayday, and they arrived, communicated with Coast Guard, with Honolulu, and they sent some kind of cargo ship there to rescue a team of 8 people on a life raft. That is, the story is, in fact, full of shit. That is, right on the course of 170 miles, the boat sank due to some interaction with a whale. In short, the asshole. Here I have put a point. Here we are, this is where it happened. Here is the distance of 168.9 nautical miles. And we are 1,474 from Marquez and to 500 from Pan. Think about this.
Yes, It's terribly fucked up in general. Terrible. It's unclear what to do with it, to be honest. Well, and it's not clear what happened to them. Either they fit into a sleeping whale, or the whale attacked them. Because if you are in a sleeper, then this is a small chance to get drunk on China. If it's some kind of whales that are attacking here, then there's a better chance. You know that they can swim up to you and just start interacting with your boat.
But I have not heard of whales attacking at all. That is because
On the altar, they attack Hello. There's this crazy fucking female whale who teaches young whales to attack boats on purpose. They write that either she has an injury there from her boat once ran over her there, or something like that, but she really has a fucking sing in the program there. I would just kill this particular female for this in general, and so that there would be no problems for the rest. But it's not clear at all here. There are other whales here. These are quiet ones.
but there was no history. In other words, we would have heard in any case that whales attack not only in Gibraltar, but somewhere else. And in any case, quite a large number of boats go to the Pacific every year, and well, I do not know, well, even 2,000. Probably how many goes? Well, hundreds for sure.
There was a case here now in March. There on the 20th of March closer to the Galapagos. The same boat crashed into a whale and was rescued. The boat sank. I think 3 people were saved there. It's the 20th of March. Now what?
The boat. This boat was called the Rhine Dancer, and now.
Now Lulu. And the wind is light now. That is, it's not at high speed. They obviously something happened in general. I don't know. It's scary we have this transition of some kind. I don't know, really scary. Then the problem has already happened to the guy 3 times. Only the guy somehow survived. We go normally, so now this whale. I don't know. I want to get there as soon as possible. And do everything so that it's fucking. These transitions have already ended for some time.
So, let's go. Big sails are always exciting. It's okay. So, come on, pull up some more. This is our Cat Zero, so terrible. You see how patched it is. Every time I open this sail, I think it's his last time. And every time there is some reason to fix it. It's my morning watch now. Look at the beauty we have here. It's just become sunny. The wind dropped at night. We turned on the engine. Well, 3 or 4 hours have passed. I think the wind is already strong enough to open the big sail, and we continued to go on it. But anyway, in any case, before any manipulations are started, I will now make myself a cup of coffee. And with this we will start our new yacht day. Look who came to us. How can the panels be washed now? How do I wash the panels now? That's the big question. Well, damn, the moment came when we needed to collapse the zero code, but we have a problem. Because Hallet is a rope that holds it on top. She paid off in the video. In short, it's done like this. We have a roller inside the mast, a rope comes out of it, and a second roller goes down. And now the rope has rubbed a little bit between the mast and the roller. Our Hallet has rubbed, and the pair will work great. But it can fall at any unpredictable moment, and we need to take it off, because we need to use ordinary sails. I do not know how to do it. As you can see, the weather is rocking us quite strongly, and the wind has blown up. That is, we need to somehow remove it twisted, in any case. Therefore, there is a chance that I will climb to the very top now, and think something about it. Ready to go. People, phew. It's tin. The amplitude is huge up there. That is, I got into a fight all over him. He has scabs on his hands, all sorts of scratches. In short, climbing when a boat is in the ocean to the top of the mast is the most finished and thankless occupation that you can think of. In our case, I was forced to do this because we just stupidly could not remove the furled sail. And you can't leave him there, because he can get confused with our head and make us very many big problems. But as usual, we did well, only nervously. Want a joke? We are now forecast to blow 21, but there is no wind so strong that we just turned on the engine and we are driving. Waves naturally exist. Waves 2 and 5 meters with a period of 10 seconds. Therefore, no one removes the wheelbarrow, but there is no wind either. The discomfort in such walking is that the boat is very much dangling from side to side on the motor, and it's just uncomfortable. When there is a sail, it is a stabilizing element. That is, when it is stretched, under the wind, the boat goes smoothly. And on a sailing boat, to walk without a sail under the engine on the ocean is just shit. Do you know what we're going to do now? Measure the depth. It is tied to a rope, lowered to the bottom, removed, measured. It's simple. Oh, it's not a depth gauge. Well, in general, now we are going to look at the sun. In here, you can look at the sun twice, with your left eye and with your right. Well, what do you think? How do you like the device? Tell me please. Have you learned how to use it now? Now. I learned how to use the device with the indetermination of the point. We will have it a little later, there at 12 o'clock, and now it's just exclusively a match. A clumsy thing. I didn't trust this. As for GPS, it's too blasphemously brutal, right? Yes, it can be used as a defense of some kind, you know, to wear. It even looks scary. Yes. Well, are we going to measure it at 12? No. The suns with the oceans. We have a fish bite again. Boring. Come on, drag her out, take her out. I went inside to mount. Fish again. Great. And these are almost ready fillets to cut off with the skin. Good carp. Swam? Now this is firm there. And according to the forecast, the weather was normal. The sun is shining, that's it. And look, such a great thing came from behind, tightened everything. And it started to rain, so we put on our suits and waited out. That is, it does not look like something that is directly large in size, but maybe for a couple of hours, of course, to share. And everything was so good, the sun was shining and nothing foreshadowed this. There are clouds coming in. I hope it will pass quickly. Good morning, everyone. We have a little good news. So we exchanged 1,000 miles. We have 9, 7, 8 to go. This is up to the final point. And we walked 3,000 miles. Therefore, today we will definitely have champagne. Let's celebrate again. We have certain dates. We change 1,000, halfway, and another 500 before the approach. And of course at the parish, but already local drinks. That's why there's a party tonight. Well, it wasn't serious. And all why? Because it's cold, cold champagne. What bouquet? Dina, we have a problem. Atlantic, and we're going to Pacific. Dissonance. Cross it out with a marker.
I need you to turn away. I'll take things off this bottle.
Oh, Rose.
So you've only read what the Atlantic says.
The exchange of 1,000 nautical miles to the goal. Oh, honey? Why is he talking like that? Right. He finds it in the ocean. Well, so we caught another small fish. I don't know how it is.
Way.
Should I raise it?
Take it better. How is it?
Nope.
Oh my God.
20 kilograms. Wait, let's wash off the blood. In order not to pollute the deck, I rip open the belly, cut the head on both sides, and send it behind us on a rope by the tail. When everything drains out of it, we will take it out and cut it up. So, here we have a whole bunch of fillets. Feed the pendant. And here is a bowl with such a great sashimi. How many kilograms are there? Is there a 7-8? Longer. More than 10. 10. Class. Good morning. We have our morning watch right now in full swing. 7 in the morning, we have until 8. Sunrise naturally morning coffee. We are gradually getting used to a new day. And also today, Mindugas seems to have drowned his phone on our watch at night. Mindugas, how did you drown your phone? To tell the truth, or such a dramatic story, dramatic. What kind of kraken crawled out and took the phone? Yes, I got out of the water here, you know the miracle Udo. And I fought with her there and somehow it turned out like this. Agreed that I give the phone and he leaves, right? This is the Pacific Rim. Yes, if the truth be told, so this miracle Udo was just such a flying fish that flew to the mat at night and left his phone on the mat by accident. And it's dark, you can't see anything. So, in order not to get my hands dirty, I took the mat from below and wanted to throw the fish out to sea. I threw it away with the phone. Well, we'll still look, of course. In the morning, that's how light it is. It seems like the phone is not lying around anywhere. With Fatach Kami absolutely capits. We've got a little bit of ayaya here. So, look what a wave there is. Wo's talking. So, we have a problem. We have one metal plank burst on our front sail. I'll show you now. In short, we now have this pipe here that does not concern this one. What should I do? Now I want to take off the load and turn 2 or 3 turns with a furler. So, we now have Dina standing there on the steering wheel, and we are now turning the screw down. That is, here we have a down screw. Come on. Great, great. Dina, what are you doing? Wait. Level up, level up, level up. It's going to fly away now. Let's take off the load again. Wait, don't twist the madugas. Take off some more wine. Let's take off the load again. Wait. Mindugas don't twist. More Dina, take it off. We have just made 2 turns, that is, just to take the load off the angle of the sail. We have it wound up like this on the pipe, and I think that it will go to Marquesa like this. I hope nothing comes off there. We are already gradually running out of food, that is, we are already here. We have 1 refrigerator, we have already opened it, and here we will wash it right now, and that's it. That is, we have already shifted the products to the whole one, and this one has been turned off. We will save electricity. It's blowing so decently here, and the boat is chattering so decently already. There are big waves creeping up behind us. Everything will lift us up in general. We have 500 miles left to reach Marquez. And I hope that we will reach them without any adventures, because it's well a little more than 3 days. Although if we take into account that such a mess is happening here, but this is such a load on the boat and on all the nodes is quite serious. But I think we will succeed. Remember that big tuna we caught? So, we salted it. And we are waiting for the arrival at the Marquesas to buy delicious beer there and with this egg. That's it. It should be our island by now. We're about 60 miles from Nukaeva, but there's another island in front of it. What's it called there?
At Kiva.
At Hooks. In front of him, there is also the island of Uahuka. It's 20 miles away, the island of 800, there is almost 900 meters in height, and for 20 miles. Such islands are usually already visible. Are you going to see this big cloud? These clouds here, these are the ones that are a little further away, they hang over the island. So, as you can see, we already have the name Al Maori. Dina, are you happy?
That's not the word.
Are you tired of yachting?
Yes. Well, damn. Listen, of course you need to know. Really 35 days.
Hang out.
Right here.
For 35 days we've been hanging around like a marketing boat. Well, the island is already visible, that's it. We have already, one might say, passed by it. There's a cloud over there and under it. Now I'm going to try to hold the camera exactly. You can see the contours under it. This is exactly the island of Fuku. You know that this purple stripe means that we have entered the territorial waters of French Polynesia. that we are now officially on the Marquesas. I have updated my position on the clock now. And here the time has changed. Very funny. Look, it's 17:08 on the phone right now. And at 16 o'clock, 39. That is, there is a half-hour difference, a half-hour zone. That is, roughly speaking, not by the clock, but half an hour. Well, it's fun too. In other words, Panama and I get 4.5 hours, not 5. So, well, here we have already passed the island over there. And now we are looking ahead. There's a cloud over there. See the front. This is the next one. This is our Nuku Hiva. This is the island we're going to. Well, we changed 4,000 from Panama. Up. We have traveled 4,000 nautical miles since we left the coast of Panama City, and now we are already on the Marquez. We still have to walk about 25 miles, and we go in. We are already going inside the bay. Here, of course, the pitching is just tin. He talks everything from side to side, but still you won't see anything of it. Tomorrow I will show you where we will be. Well, here we have the morning after we arrived here on Nepuhiva. Now I'm going to make some coffee quickly, and then go upstairs with a cup of coffee. And we will look with you for the first time after the night, to see what is happening around here. Well, first of all, of course, it's very beautiful, because the mountains, of course, are not rocking here in a childish way. You see what kind of anchor is here, but it doesn't matter after the sea. The sun rises over the mountains of Maui beautifully. Already now, I want to quickly make a check-in, and go here to explore what is interesting here on the shore. Look how funny it is, we haven't opened the rear platform there for more than a month, and we're just going offshore in the ocean. Even the steps were overgrown. Just imagine how many animals are active here. Well, bored, I'm generally silent about overgrown, but the steps. It's very funny.
This is very important.
For a reason. We are already on the shore. We have arrived on the shore. It's not very convenient to leave the aces here. You need a rear anchor, because the aces are fighting against the wall. Which is, well, so-so, with corals.
Nothing said, what her phone. Right on my phone.
Now we are going to someone yellow stall, and there is Kevin, who is an agent here. In fact, an agent is not needed here, just if you do not have a new passport, but you need either a visa. If not a Ukrainian passport. If you have a Ukrainian passport, then you don't need anything. But there is such a thing as bond. This is an insurance deposit of about $2,000, which must be paid for a person. So, if you don't want to pay it, there are some lead examples, and you can make it so that you pay $100. And all this is solved. I think there is enough of the island in this issue. We'll tell you later, we'll show you separately. Well, so far, unless you can show this magnificent beach here, to Dina, who looks completely unyachty. Dressed up and happy.
Because that's where I have all the yachting.
This is understandable. It's better to stay in the city, of course.
Gibbs, can you grab it?
Yes, well, they put a passport stamp on us, gave us 90 days, and said welcome to French Polynesia. Look how overgrown we are.
The horror. Really the most dirty boat. And if it doesn't come close, then we'll scratch again.
Is it really for the transition? Look at what it is in general.
Disgusting.
Well, folks, our journey has come to an end. And then, probably, it will be more interesting for yachtsmen, because each of the participants of the transition will express their opinion about how it all happened. So if you're interested, stay and watch this tedious part of the video. And if you watch the transition, and that's enough for you, then that's enough for you. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel.
Well, first of all, I am very glad that this transition has been completed successfully. As you can see, we are in a new place in French Polynesia. Thank God. It was very long, quite difficult and time-consuming, energy-consuming, and that's all. In general, we are tired. Only now we are coming to our senses. The march was 4,025 days. It took us about 35 days and another week in the Galapagos. We didn't plan to go to Galapagos, but it so happened that our shroud burst. And it burst 3 times during our transition. Twice the previous shroud, and once the one we bought, a new one, was put on the Galapagos. Suryaza will tell you why this happened. But it was quite a stressful experience, because when the shroud breaks, this is our rather stressful experience, because when the shroud breaks, the mast begins to swing, and with a strong pitching and waves, it swings straight. You can pray and cry. But it's good that we are lucky that, first of all, Suryaza is stress resistant. He does not get lost in an extreme situation. He does not turn on my pause there. He reacts very quickly and clearly. And secondly, we are lucky that we have a lot of Pasochki, thanks to which we were able to reassemble it. He'll tell you too. It is very useful to have in your arsenal not only what is installed on the boat, but also an incredible amount of all kinds of spare parts, lanyards, shakilas, ropes, rollers. In general, that is what we finally assembled, a replacement and a safety structure for this shroud. This is the most terrible situation that has happened to us. The second terrible situation, which did not happen to us, but scared us too. This is a boat that left the Galapagos the day before us and was at a distance of about 150 miles. In our opinion, she has already completely left the course, also on Marquez. In general, she collided with a whale and sank. We don't know all the circumstances. People were rescued, the boat sank. And we, of course, because we have the internet from Elon Musk, quickly found out about it. Well, I personally was very much afraid of the next 500 miles because it turned out that 2 such situations happened in less than 2 months in the same place. And this place is exactly where we were going. At the time we found out about it, we were 150 miles away. That is, the next day we passed exactly where it happened. On the one hand, it would seem that to meet a whale in the sea, to come across a whale in an ocean as big as the Pacific, well, it's a drop in the sea. And on the other hand, even if we take the bare statistics, for 2 months out of about 20 boats that went this way along the route, because this is already oofs is enough, that is, not such crazy traffic anymore. 2 boats sank, and it turns out 10% of the situation that ended like this. People were rescued from both boats. But it's terribly scary. It's terribly scary because, well, you can lose everything. It is clear that having all the means of communication that we have, they are all duplicated there. We have yellow brick, and Semrid, and perp, and rescue fruit, and dings, and the internet from Elon Musk with power bank. In general, I started scrolling through the next few days, just what we take with us, what algorithm of actions in case of anything. And I calmed down only when we passed this terrible place. Somewhere we were already thousands of miles from Marquez. Then I personally decided for myself inside that it was probably possible to calm down. Everything is over. These are two such terribly stressful cases that I don't even want to think that something like this could happen to you. Otherwise, the transition was cool, relaxed, internet, movies, YouTube, all news feeds. We were constantly in touch. It's very cool. We've never walked like this before, of course. This is a whole new level of comfort. Fish were constantly caught. The biggest one. Here is this huge, heavy, fat squeakjack. He's a winning fish, which we still can't finish. We dried the remains of it. And today Saryazov took out a beer. A few days later, because the fish is already sitting here, it doesn't climb. The chicken does not climb. The fish does not climb. We ran out here to the shore and were like, oh damn, what are you going to eat so delicious here? Because that's all that. We had a fairly rich menu and everything was calculated correctly, super balanced. Some of course have lost a little weight, but I think this is due to stress rather than fatigue, rather than malnutrition. But now it will recover. In general, I am insanely glad that we have finally reached it. That everything is not so tense ahead of us. Short distances, many interesting archipelagos. I'm ready to get out of here because I like it here, but not very much. Here, as you can see, well, we'll show it nice and green, but there's not much to do. And the next archipelago, where we will go, is the Tuamotu. There will be diving, snorkeling, and coral reefs. Hopefully shells. And the most interesting thing is that there will be kiting. There's an awesome spot for kite surfing. A Snow White beach, and that's it. We bought 2 new kites before leaving Panama. I'm really looking forward to them. In general, adventures are ahead. I already want to go to the Tuamotu. There are Fiji guests. In general, we have finally passed this forced period of time. Dropped out a little bit of everything for the month of June, but everything is already over. Then only an interesting, pleasant adventure, and that's it. And see you in the new issues.
Well, I think you live here in a boat. It's like everything is here for you. As if everything is clear. But I would say that we have already made the crossing of the Pacific Ocean on the shore when we were preparing for it. Because we've been preparing for, 4 or 5 months. We have a family, many children, a job, everything. And it was difficult to leave everything for 2 months. Since I laughed with my friends that we have already crossed 2 or 3 times, even though we did not reach the quiet one. If we talk about the transition itself, then of course I imagined it differently, this transition. It was scarier, as I thought it would be, but, in my opinion, the most important thing is this. It's such a thing that you have to fight your fears on the ocean. And also, when there are some technical problems. When you start to be afraid and struggle with your fears and fears that something bad will happen. So the transition itself was, in my opinion, it was difficult. It was a difficult psychological, physical, but how to say. I think that's how I imagine crossing the Pacific Ocean. I was not so scared, and not so. I don't know how to say it. In English? No, well, the transition itself was like this, more work with yourself than work. Let's say, there with sails. With a boat, with some things there. Because I set up the boat, but you go, the wave is big, but the wind is big. Well, it's good there, you're coping somehow. But the main work was with myself, with discomfort, with constant this, you know, when you're talking, it's impossible to drink. It's impossible to sleep, bruises everywhere. Fatigue is so constant that you sleep only there 4 hours a day. And this dream, I can't call it a dream. You're there, you know, like sleeping through the night. It doesn't work. Napping, yes. So this whole transition is, you know, the way to yourself, the way to your thoughts, to know yourself, to know your boundaries. What you can, how you can. I liked it. But was it different from how you imagined or not? Yes, it was different. I thought it would be scarier because I imagined these waves to be very big. And, of course, we had these big waves, but they are somehow in the boat. Well, the boat takes them beautifully. But it wasn't so that there, you know, we go up some mountain, there and everything is already there. You understand that life is over. Here. Well, I imagined it, of course, it was not so scary. We crossed the ocean, crossed 4,000 nautical miles. We were on the water for more than a month. Let's sum up the results of what happened here. Let's make an evolution of the whole transition, as it were. But besides that, I have some small points here, that is, some small achievements of my own. So, in the month of May, it was exactly 10 years since I have been living on a boat. After we made this transition, or rather, when we came to Panama, I had 96,000 nautical miles there. And I thought that when we crossed into the Pacific Ocean, I would already have 100 there. So, now they have counted. I have either 115 or 118 there. In short, 100 has already passed. Therefore, there is a club for those who have passed 100,000. I am already in it. Well, what else did I want to say? Our boat, on which we did this, was also 10 years old. I am its first owner. I will make you a video about what happened to the new boat in 10 years with its active operation, life, and with large finds of miles. So you can congratulate me on these little glasses. Of course, nothing has changed in my life, it is as it is, and it is. We just summed up some small results. And yet, we crossed the Pacific Ocean, the largest part of it. This means that I have already crossed the Atlantic twice, crossed the Indian twice, and crossed the Pacific twice. Therefore, we can consider, of course, not two circumnavigations, but also quite a lot. But let's go back to our passage of 4,000 nautical miles from Panama through the Galapagos to the Marquesas, French Polynesia. Well, friends, now let's do a little evolution, summing up the results of our transition. Because it's very important to draw conclusions, to learn from your mistakes. So we crossed 4,000 miles from Panama to Marquez. This is French Polynesia. We did it not at the peak of the season, when everyone is doing it, when the season has already passed a little bit. In other words, we had difficult conditions before Galapagos, but it was a conscious choice not to stand there for another 8 months. Not to wait in Panama. We decided so that we would motor half the way to Galapagos, half go already on sails. Now breakdowns are the most important thing in this transition, because the transition is big. It's more than a month we were offshore. The most difficult breakdown is the shroud. Sofa or diagonal from the deck to the first spreader or to the first paint. It's torn. Could it have been prevented? I think that, in principle, with our experience, it is possible. Taking into account the fact that the shrouds on our boat have not changed in principle for 10 years, it would be worth drawing some conclusions. And taking a closer look here. Therefore, you can attribute this click to, well, to some kind of negligence. But again, there is such a thing here. When you walk a lot, you fall into such a small trap. When it seems to you that you are able to resolve any situation at sea, well, not so. Fix it there, do something there. Pull the ropes. I mean, you basically understand how it's done. And you fall into a trap when there are such problems as we have with the guy. You just have to be more careful, do some actions. Instead of just replacing some loaded shrouds there, you can, if there is conditionally no money, change only to windy ones there. And be more or less in the comfort zone with spare ones. Well, in short, it was always possible to come up with something. And in our case, we lost the shroud, and as a result, we had careful actions throughout the transition, which is probably good. We broke less, but otherwise we would have reached there 3 to 5 days faster. But that's in the past anyway. The second breakdown, which is quite serious, is that our pipe fell off from the furler. We had such a metal plate burst. Unfortunately, nothing could have been predicted here. We just did everything perfectly, I think. And the problem that was associated with this breakdown, we localized it, reached it on a twisted sail, carefully, without overloading. Maybe it was possible to go a little faster, but unfortunately we could not at the expense of the shrouds, we could not open the sails. Well, that is, roughly speaking, we had to be very careful, and we went about 3 knots less in the end. But still the speed was about 6 knots average there. Therefore, nothing so bad has happened here. Then there is the problem with the batteries. There will be a separate issue on the electron, on the power supply of the boat. Our system is done well. We have our power bank, which consists of 1,200 ampere-hours, divided into 2 parts, and in case of failure, one and the second one continues to work with us. So we have here in one of the parts, the balancers broke down, and she just turned off half of the BMS, so as not to hijack the cells. So we went to Galapagos at half capacity. Then there was no sun. Well, in short, we had electricity jokes. Further, we did not take into account the amount of energy that we are really able to get for all our wishes. That is, there are all kinds of washing machines, dishwashers, all require energy. Even Elon Musk's internet is 1.5 kilowatts per day. And 1.5 kilowatts per day is like 2 refrigerators that consume quite a lot. Therefore, you need to understand what is the amount of energy and where to get it from. You can't get that amount of energy because the boat is going at an angle, and when you are standing in the parking lot, the sun is frying on the panel at the same time. When you go at an angle, you always have a couple of panels overshadowing there. In general, you are in a state where you lack energy. It needs to be replenished. That is, you need to drive there, but the motor gives little, you need to run the generator. In short, we did not take into account that we need more energy. Therefore, we have concluded that we will redo the system a little bit in the near future. That is, we will make the generator mains for it, connect it so that there is a lot of energy on charging, about 200 amperes. We have to remove from the generator. In other words, these are the conclusions that we had on electrics. I remind you that we will have a release on the general energy supply in the near future. Then they ask me, how's the hardtop? Hardtop is ideal for offshore. If you go there, race somewhere in regattas, you don't need it, because you need to see the sails, it's inconvenient. In the case of cruising, you hung a huge number of solar panels up. You can walk on it, assemble a sail, it does not pour. Especially if you make a spray hood, you will be completely closed. It's just awesome. What we noticed when, well, really big waves, when really big, then he walks a little, but this is noticeable only to the polyesters. It is worth understanding that there is still quite a lot of weight on top of the structure, but again, I repeat, this is not critical. That is, there were no really any problematic movements, even on very large waves. It was easy, but if you know what to look at, then you can notice, otherwise you can't notice it. And so on. What else is broken? Some problems started with the water maker. He didn't want to switch to good quality. Maybe it's a salinity sensor, we'll figure it out. Well, the toilets clogged up, that is, they stopped working normally, at least ours. We are going to do this now, too. Little things, but nevertheless, We had so many problems during our transition. I am often asked how much these transoceanic crossings cost. Let's do some rough budgeting now. $3,000 we spent on food, drink, actually on life support. Another $1,000 we spent on Starlink, on the internet. I think that Starlink has changed all the rules of the game a lot, and I think it would be extremely wrong not to try it in the transition. Therefore, the internet cost us $1,000. It's about a month and a half. And in small things, there is a call to the Galapagos. There are other small technical purchases there for a boat, for a transition. Some kind of spare parts for a motor there and so on, somewhere another 1,000. That is, roughly speaking, if we do not count the breakdown, do not count the shrouds. Then about $5,000 we spent on the transition. Therefore, keep this amount in your head. You can remove the internet from here, but in principle it will be like this somewhere, plus or minus. By the way, I wanted to tell you, you know that we are in the Pacific Ocean. There aren't many people who report from here. We are waiting for Mato, Island, Kyland, New Fiji, maybe New Caledonia. In short, a huge number of interesting places. Do not miss this material. Therefore, you need to subscribe and check the bell. And I'm going to ask you to comment on this video, share, distribute it, because the more passionate you are, the more it promotes the channel, the more it popularizes yachting, and this is actually what we do. So friends, like, subscribe, comment, bell, whatever. See you in the next issue. Bye.